My opponent didn't mention a couple of things about this energy border wall. One of them, which is the cost of this project and the environmental effects that this would cause. First, researchers estimate it would take more than 5 trillion just to switch from coal nuclear and natural gas to 100% renewables. The energy border wall would massively expand the size of scope of the federal government control over activities best left for private sector. The reality is that environmental policies aren't good for the environment if they're so bad for people. Criticism of the energy border wall tends to center on cost, and rightly so. It would be extremely expensive. Researchers estimate it would take more than 5 trillion just to switch from coal to nuclear and natural gas to 100% renewable. But even if we set economic concern aside, an ironic fact remains. In the United States and around the world, the central planning policies at the heart of the energy border wall have a horrible track record for the environment. In addition, the absence of property rights reduce the incentive to conserve and give government-controlled industries to a free pass to pollute without compensating or protecting its citizens. The energy border wall would massively expand the size of and scope of the federal government's control over activities best left for the private sector. It would improve and empower the feds to change and control how people produce and consume energy, harvest crops, raise livestock, build homes, drive cars, and manufacture goods. Second, the energy border wall would result in a number of unintended consequences. For instance, policies that limit coal, oil, and natural gas production in the United States will not stop the global consumption of these natural sources. Production will merely shift to places where the environmental standards are not rigorous, making the planet worse off. There would also be massive land use changes required to expand renewable power. Ben Fisher at the American Enterprise Institute estimates that land use necessary to meet a 100% renewable target would require 150 million acres, which is 15% larger than the land area of California. Two recent National Bureau of Economic Research papers underscored the unintended consequences of energy policy on human well-being. One found that cheaper home heating because of America's fracking revolution is averting more than 10,000 winter deaths per year. The energy border wall would wipe up all of that away and reverse course by mandating pricier energy on families. Another hallmark of bad environmental policies is focusing on outputs, not outcomes. According to the frequently asked question sheet released along with the energy border wall, it is a massive investment in renewable energy production and would not include creating new nuclear plants. One would think that if we only have 11 or 12 years to act on climate change, we'd want to grab the largest source of emission-free electricity we can get, but that's not the case. That's typically for most big government environmental policies. They're so focused on prescriptive ways to control people's behaviors that they crowd out or ignore opportunities in innovative solutions. Thus, the reality is that environmental policies aren't good for the environment if they're so bad for people. The cost of the energy border wall would be devastatingly high for households. Government policies that drive up energy bills are not only very aggressive, but they would also harm consumers multiple times as they pay more for food, clothes, and all of the other goods that require energy to make. By shrinking our economy by potentially tens of trillions of dollars, the energy border wall will cause lower levels of prosperity and fewer resources to deal with whatever environmental challenges come our way. That's a bad deal for our economy and our environment. Sorry.